Hi, Donna Heifel with Corplite TV, and today in our Corplite TV workshop, here's what I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about the Twilight Years, and I don't mean the Twilight Years as in as you get older. I'm talking about the Twilight series of movies, and anybody watching this who does not know what those books or movies are, I don't know where you've been. Written by Stephanie Myers, they are 4 books that follow the story of a girl named Bella and a vampire and a bunch of werewolves, and I have to tell you, when my daughter first asked me to read them, I was dreading it. I thought it was just going to be a lot of fluff, and I absolutely got so consumed that in about 4 days I read all 4 books. And as we went recently to see New Moon, the second movie in the series, I was amazed, number one, at the age range in that room. The first movie was mostly teenage girls, but this time there were people of all ages there. There were more men there, and people were totally emotionally charged to see that movie. It amazed me that, for example, as the trailers came on for other movies, you know, a comedy would come up and you sit there with people and people kind of chuckle. People were just laughing hysterically over things that were mildly funny because they were so excited about seeing this movie. And when, for example, there were scenes in the movie when the werewolf, Jacob, takes off his shirt, and the actor spent like a year working out for this movie. He takes his shirt off, and you know, one woman was like, woohoo! And then all the other people started yelling and screaming, and I have to sadly admit to you, that woman that said woohoo, that was me. And yes, I felt like a pedophile because he's like 16, but it was just getting caught up in the emotion of that movie, and people loved it. And I thought, what is it about that series? And I thought, you know what it is? It's story. And it's story that captures all of the human emotions. You have Bella, who's moved to a new place. She's kind of an outcast. She meets Edward, who's a vampire, who's 109, that has to keep moving every few years to stay in a high school because he always is that age, because they stay the age when they die. But anyway, he's kind of an outcast, and it's people who are afraid and lonely. They find each other, and they find love, and they find joy, and it's the human story. And as I'm thinking about the possibilities of that, I thought about corporate America and how the presentations, a lot of times the training, which I have helped write and been a part of, the communications from leaders are about as moving as a textbook. There's just nothing that really connects with people, and we wonder why we can't get people excited about new initiatives, and we wonder why we can't get people, you know, riled up and ready to change behavior. We don't connect with their emotion. So that is my real commitment with Corplite, is to take some of the communications and the training and start weaving stories through them and find ways to emotionally connect with people. And here's why it's so important. This is why I pulled over. I want to read this to you. This is a quote shared with me by a friend of mine, Jim Miller. So Jim, thank you so much for sharing this. And it's from Rolf Jensen, who works at the Copenhagen Institute for Future Studies. And here's what he says. We are in the twilight of a society based on data. As information and intelligence become the domain of computers, society will place more value on the one human ability that cannot be automated: emotion. Imagination, myth, ritual, the language of emotion will affect everything from our purchasing decisions to how we work with others. Companies will thrive on the basis of their stories and myths. Companies will need to understand that their products are less important than their stories. I don't think there's anything that can say it more strongly than that. So from now, as we move forward, Corplite is going to really focus on taking the corporation and kind of adding the light of a campfire that we all can sit around and get excited about things that we're talking about, and do that through the use of story, and do it through the use of examples and things that connect with the emotions that people feel. So I look forward to that. I look forward to these Twilight Years, and I appreciate you being here today. We will see you next week on our workshop. Thanks so much.